In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, as the Republic of ᴛɪʟʟ, the true 144,000 that's being gathered in this day and time. Good evening, I am your host, the intellectual Nuben ᴛɪʟʟ. This is ᴛɪʟʟ Radio, and tonight we're going to be discussing the prophecies, right? When will the prophecies of the Lord Amen take place? Now, we don't have a lot of people here. I had a lot of people questioning me about, when is all this stuff going to happen? The market dropping, and the elites pulling out, and everything going on the way it's going on, World War III, and all this other stuff. When it's going to happen? When it's going to happen? See, people ask these questions as if they doubt this is going to happen, or they doubt that it's going to happen in their lifetime. So they ask questions like this because, truth be told, y'all don't really think that's real. You don't really think this is going to happen. A lot of our people don't think this is going to happen. But it has to happen because just like anything that starts, there's always a finish. When something starts, there's always going to be a finish. America started in the year 1776, and it will effectively end before the year 2076. That's 300 years. That's 300 years. We're on the year 2017. So between now and the year 2076 is when America will be finished, and the governments that are set up will be fell down. 2076. All right. Now, I'm gonna be 100. I would be 106 years old if I make it. Your children are definitely going to be alive. Your grandchildren are definitely going to be alive. So they're going to see it in their lifetime. But there will be no more America by 2076. And you will see the gradual downfall of America in between 2017 and 2076 because it has to make 300 or almost close to 300 years. Right? It has to be 300 years. It has to make because America wanted to go as long as Egypt. Egypt went for thousands of years. Right? Kemet went for thousands of years. America's not going to go for no 1,000 years. It's not set up to. Right? It's not set up to because and the reason why it's not set up to is because it has no real culture here. It's too many different cultures here that are vying for power. White, Asian, everything. You got too much of a melting pot here, so there's no real culture to continue this thing going forward. You got too many mixed cultures here. The white man is trying to make America white, but he's not going to be able to do it. All right? Then they're going to try to make it a biracial type of country, but that's not even going to be able to help America. All right? Any country that's founded in rape, robbing, and murder will eventually end the same way. You got cutthroat people here, right? You're teaching them a cutthroat mentality because it was founded that way, from stealing land from the so-called Native Americans who stole land from the Olmecs. They don't talk about how these people took land and overshadowed the Olmecs, these Asians who mixed in with the Olmecs. They don't talk about that. See, when things happen to you, when you get slaughtered and overtaken and things like that, it's usually because you did it to somebody first. What comes around goes around. And like I said, a lot of our people don't like to think that this is going to be over. You want to think, when it's going to hurry up and go. So, you think America could fix this and everything will be back to normal again and I'll be able to go to my job again and we'll be able to go to work and everything will be okay. You're going to see a lot of things from this system and everything else fall down. You're going to see it. The elites know it's going to happen. That's why they're going to Mars. That's why their long-range plan is to just go ahead and escape. Their long-range plan is to go ahead and escape. That's it. They're going to Mars. They know that another group of people are going to come up and take over. And the reason why it's going to take as long as it's going to take, right, which is not really long at all, right, it's a little under 60 years. It's a little under 60 years, right, if I'm counting correctly. It's under 60 years now. The hour is because that is the time it's going to take to raise the elect. That is the time it's going to take to groom and raise the elect. That's the only thing that's keeping this thing going, that the elect have to be gathered. That's the only thing that's keeping these systems up, because the Amen being want to come back and they want to make connection with the elect. They don't want to deal with the beast anymore, because they understood that the rulership of the humans, of mankind, was only meant to be temporary. It was only meant to be temporary. It's like when you, and I explained this before, how the Amen being saw it. They really wanted our people in rulership all over the planet. They wanted our people in rulership, their descendants, the Amen being in rulership, and they wanted the humans to be their assistants, right? Their labor force. That's what the humans were created for. They were not created to be in charge long term. When you saw the Greeks and the Romans and all these other people coming up, the original Greeks and Romans, right, were mulattoes, and then eventually that mulatto seed got pushed out, and that Caucasian, that Caucasoid seed came in stronger. And then as they came up, this was all meant to be a test run when Amen allowed them to go into power in England and all these different places, because ultimately the final conflict, the final peak of their power would be here in America and in England and these places they're in right now. This would be the final peak of their power. In these last days, they were meant to run out of power, right? Because all those other kingdoms were upstarts to this one. All their other kingdoms were upstarts to this one, and we helped upstart or jumpstart their kingdoms. They were like the spare tire on your car. They were meant to be like that until the real tire could get fixed. And what is the real tire that's going to get fixed? The 144,000, the elect, so they can be aligned for rulership as it's supposed to be. Because the reason this planet is not moving in a state of evolution as it's supposed to be is because the wrong people are in rulership. The wrong people are in rulership. As I said before, this is a planet that is in a solar system. And the people who carry solar energy or solar power or souls are supposed to be in rulership. The Amen descendants, not the creation. Not the Caucasians, not the Asians, not the East Indians. Not the straight-haired people. They're not supposed to be in rulership. Right? They're supposed to be in worship. They're supposed to be in a state of worship and working, serving. But they turned it over into rulership. So this was all meant to groom our people and also to run the spare battery, or run the spare tire. Right? Because as I said before, the Amen being never meant for these people to sit in rulership for a long period of time. See, now a long period of time to them is not the same as it is to us. We might look at 1,000 years as a long period of time. That's nothing to them. That's a blink of an eye to them, because they don't work off of time. They don't work off of time. They got us working off of time, but they don't work off of time because they created time. And they put people on timelines. And as they put people on timelines, they sped up time, or they gave people time within these timelines to evolve and to grow through their experiences. Now, the things we've experienced, right, as the Amen genetic, through slavery, through racism, through bad encounters with the humans, we were supposed to keep that in the memory banks. We were supposed to keep that in us genetically in our memory banks, because we're going to go other places and we're going to have these same encounters again. Right? We're different kinds of people, but we're going to have these same encounters again. So this was meant to prepare us. All this preparation. The humans were put in power, right, to set up these societies after the ones we set up in ancient Egypt, Sumeria. Because if you notice, we ruled longer than they did. Much longer. Much longer. And we fell out of power because we allowed these people to come into our governments, into our countries, into our setups, and have citizenship, intermarry over time, and eventually through that, they were able to get a foothold in on the government and take over and learn how to govern, learn how to live by codes and laws on some level. right? Learning how to structure themselves. They got all that from us because prior to that, they were just people in the caves, and they were set to be in the caves. They were brought out of the water and put in the caves to develop and be our spare tire, to be our assistants, because that's all they were created to be, is assistants. They were not supposed to be in charge. They were not supposed to really run governments, but they had no other choice. The ᴡᴜ had no other choice but to place them in order, place the humans in power, or put them in charge, I should say. Right? To put them in charge, aka put them in power. To charge something is to give it power. They were put in charge. And how were they put in charge? They were given telepathic transmissions, and they were extended by way of the intelligence, because when your so-called humans were supposed to die out, because it was a point where they were supposed to just straight up die out during the time, even your scientists say of Cro-Magnon, I forget which stage of development they were in, they were supposed to be wiped out totally. And in the Europe, when the Black Plague was going around, the Black Death in the 1300s, a lot of them were supposed to be wiped out. But the ᴡᴜ allowed the Moors to go there and help these people, cleanse them, and show them how to clean themselves up and things like that, and it saved them, right? It saved these people. And from those people, the descendants came over here to America and built up this government and got rid of people who would not have extended the society the way the ᴡᴜ wanted it. Because make no mistake about it, the ᴡᴜ wanted America to exist. The ᴡᴜ wanted America to exist. However, we were supposed to be the ones bringing America forward. We were supposed to be the ones in suits and clean-shaven, the men, the women in business dresses and running the government and things like that, not the Caucasians. We were supposed to be the ones, because they brought us here as the Olmecs. We were the first ones here with helmets on our heads and whatnot. We were the ones that came over here first. So we were supposed to ultimately set up America. But we got sidetracked. And in getting sidetracked by allowing these different people to come in, the Asians, the Caucasians, and all these different people, and mix in, it caused confusion in the governmental setup that the ᴡᴜ wanted us to establish. So when the white man came to power, see, they were smart. See, they realized why our ancient kingdoms fell, because they studied Egypt, George Washington and all the Freemasons, and they studied ancient Egypt, and they understood why Egypt fell. They worshipped Egypt. They didn't care, and I'm gonna dispel that myth that George Washington and all the Freemasons, they based their societies on ancient Egypt, which is the longest society, one of the longest societies to ever go, right? And because of the extended technology and things that they had in the superior governing system they had in ancient Egypt, or Kemet, they wanted to mimic that here in America. That's why they took a lot of the ancient Kemetic symbols, the pyramid, the eye, all of that. They took a lot of that. Anubis, right? And they said, when they were setting up their kingdom or setting up their government here, they said this is only going to be a government for white men and white women, for white people. Now, people say, oh, well, they did that because they was racist. They set that up because they was racist. All men are created equal. They meant all Caucasian white men. All white men. Now, they did this because they were mimicking ancient Egypt. Because in the early stages of ancient Kemet, the pharaohs did not allow Caucasians, Asians, East Indians, any of these people to be living in the country, allowing them to hold any kind of office, right? They didn't allow that. They might let them visit. They may let them visit, but they couldn't stay. They didn't let these people in. In fact, they had them in slavery. That's where the white man got all that from, the idea of slavery from us, because we had them in slavery. We had the Caucasians in slavery. We had the Asians in slavery. We had the Africans in slavery. The Africans are not our people. We were the ancient Nubian people, the Anu people. And our societies went longer because we kept it about us, about the Anu people, the Kemp people. We kept it about us. We didn't let outsiders in. Right? This is why when they say, they had brothers and sisters marrying each other, half brothers and half sisters, they wanted to keep it so close and tight-knit in the family and the rulership. They didn't want outsiders in, right? Because they understood that once you let outsiders in, it causes confusion to the bloodline, and the government or the kingdom will fall if you let different people in. That's why America has been so racist for so long, is because they know that without racism, without saying and defining that white men are going to run this thing, there's going to be confusion, and eventually people are going to come in, and invaders are going to come in, and they're going to take over. This is why they kept it white, because they were trying to follow early Egypt and how they kept it, quote-unquote, so-called black with our people. And then Egypt started to fall when they let the Greeks and the Romans and the Greeks in, and they started mixing their seed with the people. They started having people, the men started bringing in women from other nations and whatnot, mixing their seed, and then they eventually got a foothold in on ancient Kemet. And then after they got a foothold in through the race mixing, and those mulattoes was built, they ran our people out. And then they were setting up Greece and Rome, the mulattoes, right? That's how they were able to get a foothold in. But America, they don't want that to happen. That's why they set it all up. And they wanted to be the white version of ancient Kemet. America is supposed to be the white version of ancient Kemet. Right? And they also took things from the Olmecs, because they saw those statues as well. They saw those heads. That's where they really got the idea of Mount Rushmore from. They got it from the ancient Egyptians at Abu Simbel, but they also saw those Olmec heads too. And they wanted to be like those people, us. They wanted to be like us. So they had the mindset to keep America going, but America was only going to last, close to 300 years. 2076 would represent the 30th year, and that would be the end, because America has no extension. It run out. They run out of ideas on how to govern America. Short of going back to slavery in some way, shape, or form and making a rotation, which people ain't trying to go for that, right? Short of going back to Jim Crow and all these other things and trying to revisit these things, which is not going to go, because you're in a state of evolution, and evolution demands that you go forward, not backwards. So America was not meant to go forward. It was only meant to go but so long. And a lot of y'all can't deal with that. That's why you think, well, when these things, this stuff ain't going to never happen. America going to keep going on. A lot of you Negroes got more emotionally invested in America than the white man do. Why? Because a lot of you depend on the system heavily. I'm not saying they don't depend on it neither, but you really depend on it. Going back to slavery, you really depend on it. Y'all still slaves here. A lot of you, it's the same mentality as when slavery stopped. A lot of the so-called slaves, when they was in bondage, when the slavery stopped, they didn't know what to do. They lost their minds, because there was no system set up for them anymore. They had to go on their own. And that's what's going to be the fate of a lot of you Negroes once America falls down. Once you start having different invaders here, because the Asian's going to come up. The dragon is going to come up. They will come up in the world. It's already prophesied that they will. The dragon is going to come up. You might mess around and have an Asian president. That's not out of the water. You understand? The dragon is going to come up. And a lot of you don't see that. A lot of you can't see this thing falling down, because a lot of you got, like I said, you got a lot invested in it. You don't think it's going to happen. A lot of you secretly want the beast to stay in power. A lot of you secretly want that. A lot of you secretly still want him to stay in power. So you think, this ain't going to never happen. But like I said, the reason why it just hasn't happened like that is because the elect have to be raised. The elect have to take over. Either it's going to be the elect or the children of the elect have to take over. They have to be the new governors on the planet. They have to set up I'm not going to say a new Egypt, but something on that level or higher, a futuristic version of it, on another level. They have to be the ones that set up the new government. And the white man knows it's coming. That's why I kept telling you, he's showing you the end. He showed you in Planet of the Apes. He showed you in Mad Max and Thunderdome, Road Warrior. That's the end of America. Everything is in desert. Everybody running around in the desert like savages. Your white trash, they gonna be running around in the desert. Your black, these niggas gonna be running around, and those who left, they're gonna be running around like savages. You're gonna see mulattoes running around. Everything gonna be desert. A lot of it's gonna be laid out like desert. The Statue of Liberty in the damn river. All that's coming. The elites already know that. And you know what they're going to do? That's why I said in the Behold the Pale Horse, I think it was in Behold the Pale Horse, where they said that the elites are going to crash the system. They're going to destroy their own companies and whatnot. And they're going to be so financially strong that they can withstand it. They're going to crash their own companies. The reason they're going to do that is because they want to make everybody or take this country into a state of depression. Where they'll say, all these companies is messed up. We got to close them down. They're going out of business, and y'all ain't going to have no work. Like that prophecy, there won't be no work in Egypt. That prophecy is right. There ain't going to be no work in Egypt. They're going to close all these companies down. Or they're going to send the work overseas or whatever the case may be. And they're going to break their own company. They're going to derail trains, blow up tankers with oil on them. They're going to destroy all that because they got plenty of money to sustain it. They own all of, they feed themselves, they clothe themselves. They don't need none of the companies no more. They got Mars pretty much set up. They still got their money set up. The whole thing is to get people unemployed. The whole thing is to get people fired, to get you to lose your job. That go for you white people too, who are sitting in your $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 jobs. Y'all gonna lose your jobs too. They don't care about you. The elites don't care about you because they want everybody in a state of war mentality. They want a lot of people signed up for ⴚWar III because that's the final war. And it's going to happen between now and 2076. A lot sooner than before 2076, but it's going to happen. And like I said, the only reason you got this extension of time is because the elect have to be raised in order for the transfer of power to happen. There has to be a transfer of power. And the elect are going to be the next ones up. You're going to have your Asians, they're going to come up for a while, but that's not going to be too long. That's not going to be too long. These people were only meant to rule for a certain amount of time because the minds of our people were messed up. Y'all became Israel over time. When I say you became Israel, you became a people in the desert, vagabonds, people who lost your minds and wanted to be in a state of equality with these humans who you were supposed to be above. So you were disconnected from that transmission of Amen that kept you in rulership. You were disconnected, and these people were connected. They were given technologies to put them in rulership. They were guided, and they were guided to punish you because you broke the law. You broke the rulership, and the end of your bondage is almost up. 2076 will be the full end. And like I said before, a lot of you going to still want to be in bondage to America. You're going to still want to be it. You're going to still be crying to go back to your jobs, going to school. You're going to be crying. You're going to cry the loudest when America goes down, you so-called black men and black women. And like I said, I'm not saying this because I'm anti-American. I'm not. I'm not for or against America. I'm not anti-American. I'm not for or against it. What I'm saying is everything that has a beginning has an ending. And this did not have an intellectual beginning. It didn't. It wasn't meant to have an intellectual beginning. What I mean by that is it wasn't started through a level of higher intelligence. It was started through straight savagery. Rape, rob, and murder. They murdered the so-called Native Americans who turned around and did the same thing to our people. That's why I tell you Negroes to stop feeling sorry for the so-called Native Americans. They're not your people. Stop feeling sorry for them people. They're not your people. They the same ones who had your people in slavery. The white man made a deal with them. And now they paying for it. They descendants is paying for it at Standing Rock. He made a deal with them to help him keep our people in bondage. Okay? So a lot of little dirty deals were made. A lot of undercover deals were made to keep our people in bondage. And a lot of you Negroes, y'all was fighting. A lot of the slaves was fighting on the side of the Union Army to keep themselves in slavery. Now, you know that's bugged out. That show you these Negroes was under a trance, man. You willing to fight on the side of the South to keep yourself in slavery. That's what these Negroes, they had blacks fighting on the side of the South. That's how simple-minded these Negroes was. They going to fight on the side of the South to help keep themselves in slavery. You'll fight. They was going to fight and risk their lives anyway, you know, with the white man when he needed them to fight, but they wouldn't fight slavery, they fight for their own freedom. That's crazy. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. Israel has to be purged out. I'm going to say it again. Israel has to be purged out. And that's a message for you so-called Israelites who think Israel's going to continue. Israel is finished. Israel is finished. Why do I say Israel is finished? Because it's not about Israel anymore. It's about the children of Israel, the people who are coming up after Israel, the bright race, the Ammonites. I told you that. They have to be gathered as the 144,000 elect, and they will answer only to the ascendants, the ascension, the Amen. Not your Yah, who you searching for Amen. You calling on Yah when you really looking for Ah. But these are the people who are going to come up as the elect. But Israel has to be purged out. That means you old Israelites got to get purged out of here. Y'all got to die off, man. Y'all not going to be in the kingdom. As you keep saying, the kingdom, the government, which is really the government, you're not going to be there because you still love Caesar. You still in confusion. You don't know the Lord. You don't know Amen is the Lord. And you're not accepting Amen as the Lord. You still trying to follow God, which is the devil. That's why you are in a state of confusion. I'm going to break that down in another, I'm not going to go too deep into that, how you know the people who are of the Lord and how you know the people who follow God. The difference between those who follow the Lord and those who follow God. I'm going to break that down because it's very easy. Y'all follow God. The elect are going to follow the Lord, who is Amen. God and the Lord are not the same thing. I broke that down already, but I'm going to go even deeper into that. But you people have to be purged out, man. A lot of you Israelites, those of you who are still young, you're going to either evolve into Ammonites, and y'all going to raise the Lord. You're going to raise the Lord. You ain't going to praise the Lord. You're going to raise the Lord Amen again in this new dynasty, in this new government that's coming forward, that you're going to cooperate in, or you're going to die off with the old Israelites, some old niggas who love the beast. Like a lot of you so-called Israelites who claim the white man going into slavery, y'all don't really believe that, and you don't believe America going down. I can listen to how y'all niggas talk. You still love the beast, man. That's another reason why this destruction is taking so long, because a lot of you old niggas need to be purged out. Old niggas who you Israelites. And I say you Israelites because that includes you Christians, you Muslims, you Moors, you black power niggas. Y'all got to be purged out, man. As y'all really say, y'all really the 2/3, because you still love Caesar. You still under God and the devil. You still got emotional problems. You still in a state of confusion. See, the Lord Amen's people who are being raised to take power, to take rulership, they're not going to have no confusion. It's not going to be no emotional rants and raves. Ain't going to be no, is it going to be God or the devil? No, it's going to be straight Amen, the Lord. That's it. The law, the order, and the Lord. That's it. Ain't going to be no confusion. If we say this, that's it. See, that ain't it with y'all. There's confusion there. So the confusion has to be purged out. See, because this new kingdom, this new empire that's coming up, there ain't going to be no confusion. See, when the white man started off America, it wasn't no confusion. There was no confusion. The white man actually started off right. He used you niggas to help him fight the war. He used black men to help him fight the Revolutionary War against England. But then after that, he is like America for white people. That's for white men. There was no confusion. He did it the same way the pharaohs did it in Egypt, as they were instructed. There was no confusion. There was no confusion of faces like you Israelites saying. Going to be no confusion of faces. Everything is going to be raw, uncut, and in your face. One line, that's it. Ain't going to be no confusion. Y'all still in a state of confusion. When the white man George Washington and those Freemasons started America in 1776, right? May 1st, May Day, when they started America going forward, they said it's for white men. Somewhere along the line, y'all start letting in the immigrants and all this other stuff and start letting other people, America's for everybody now. That was the end. Once you started that was the end. When America entered the 20th century and they started letting all them immigrants in, that was really the end. And America had many different faces. Americans look like everybody. No, they're not supposed to do that. That's the end of your society right there. Once you started doing that, that was the countdown to the end. That's why they kept saying the year 2000, after 100 years of that, after 100 years from 1900 to 2000, that was the end. Now what you're looking at is the countdown. The 76 years represents the spirit of 76. 1776. What does 76 represent? 7 and 6 equals 13. 13 represents a new day. That's why 13 in this society is considered a bad luck number, because the 13 represents a new day in which the old covenants and the old tribes are broken. That's why it's 2076. 76 years. 76. Right? 13. How many colonies did this country start with? 13 colonies, right? So it's going to break down back into 13 colonies. It's going to break down. It's going to go right back to how it was before. And everybody's going to be in a state of that world warrior mentality. That world warrior. World War III is going to be fought with nuclear weapons. World War IV is going to be fought with stones and rocks. They ain't going to have no more weapons. The people, the real bad, is going to be destroyed. Everything. That's why they show you everything in the desert, because everything is destroyed. All them buildings going to come down. They showing you that. The power grids are going to go out once this solar burst happens. See, because this is a way of leveling the playing field. See, nobody's going to have any power. Only the intelligent ones are going to come up and build a new kingdom and a new empire. And that's who the Amen beings are going to start with. They're going to allow the playing field to be leveled. See, the white man is sitting on top because he got all the nuclear technology. He got all the guns, all the weapons. That's the only thing that's keeping him sitting on the top is his weaponry. But once all that's taken away, once all of his weapons are taken away, his weapons of mass destruction, his sound cannons and all the stuff he got, once all of these things are taken away, once all the things that run off a computer are shut down, once he can no longer access these weapons, once he run out of bullets, it's not gonna be a good thing. Because all that, like I said, after a while, you lose your defenses. Because there's no long-range plan for America. There's no long-range plan. Right now, America's just teetering around the sides. And that's why, they're trying to reignite the spirit in white Americans. Notice that in white Americans, they're trying to reignite the spirit. That's really why they're doing it. They want the white Americans to have that same mentality and that same spirit as the founding fathers again. Well, America's for white people, and they're trying to push the racial thing, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. They're trying to jumpstart us off of the white racial thing like the so-called founding fathers did, but that's not going to work. It's too late. See, because the elect have already been slated to be the next rulers. There's nothing you elites can do about that, and y'all know that, because you know the very people that put you in power, the Amen being put you in power, the same ones going to take you out of power. They the same ones that's going to take you out of power. And y'all already know that. That's why y'all heading to Mars. That's why you're going to bankrupt the systems and leave everything in ruins here. Like y'all do after y'all finish using something. You're going to leave everything in ruins. And you Negroes are going to be in a state of dismay because you sitting up here waiting. You sitting up here waiting for the elites to come up with a plan. You want the elites to succeed. You want America to keep going because you don't want to give up your cushy jobs. You done told your son and your daughters, all you got to do is go to school, son. All you got to do is go to school, girl. You're going to have a good job and, this, that, and the third. And, you're going to have job security. You're going to get that 401k. So you niggas, y'all got your minds wrapped up in America heavy too. Y'all don't really want America to stop. You don't. You don't. You Israelites, y'all don't want America to really stop. Y'all full of shit. Y'all really don't want America to stop because you want them fine white women. They ain't going to want you when this come down. They're going to be running around looking like savages. Y'all ain't going to know how to make it because you know how you don't want America to go down because you guys don't know how to even structure order amongst each other and feed each other. I don't see you guys come up with a plan to grow food and feed yourself. So what's going to happen if y'all can't get y'all food from the damn supermarkets? Or go to the Whole Foods, wherever you guys go. What's going to happen? Y'all ain't structuring yourself to survive in the woods or set up anything or have a piece of property or live off the land. Because that's how people prepare who want this society to go down. They know how to live off the land. You Israelites ain't doing that. You waiting for your God to come back and put you in power. But how likely is that? How likely is that? Y'all know it ain't very likely. And after a while, your followers ain't going to keep listening to that same story, because the only one that the Lord is going to put in power is the people who are intellectually connected to them, to the future ascendants. That's the only ones that's going in power. Your God, who you believe in, which is really you guys, that's really you guys having your God and your devils is really your emotions going back and forth, because your God is what you created in your head through your emotions of what you think is good. Wants you to have white women in slavery, wants you to have concubines, wants you to have gold and jewelry and pick you up on spaceships, because that's really your imagination of what your God or what is good to you. That's really what you want, but that's not what's going to happen. You're not going to be walking around talking about 50 shekels and wearing robes and fringes and beards in the kingdom. No. Everything is going forward. Y'all not going to be able to live in that future world where the elect are going to be put in power. You're not going to be able to live there. Y'all not even prepared for that. Your mind is not even set for that. The chance you had is when the book of Revelation was revealed. That was the open door to that next world. But y'all ain't trying to go there. Y'all don't want to see that happen. Y'all want this thing to go on too. Y'all just ain't saying it. But you really do. You don't want it to stop. You're not prepared for it to stop. Your minds are not prepared for America to stop. Just like the slaves' minds was not prepared for when the Emancipation Proclamation came and they told them they go walk off the plantation. They ain't want to, half of them, they didn't want to go nowhere. Some of them ran up out of there, and when half of them, they didn't want to go nowhere. And the white man ended up having them in slavery through Jim Crow and the sharecropping. So he had a lot of them still in slavery. You understand? A lot of them didn't mind it, because that was the only system they understand. Y'all the same way. Y'all ain't trying to set up no system. Y'all ain't trying to set up no community like the Jews got. Now, if this thing go down, the Jews is good. They already know how to. They already used to working with each other. They already used to having one thing, one code, one goal, one law. They good. They'll be okay. The Amish, they'll be okay. Negroes, y'all in trouble, man. Y'all in trouble. That's why y'all keep hitting me up talking, when this gonna happen? When all this stuff gonna go down? When is America gonna fall down? Yeah, because like I said, y'all really saying it, but you really mocking it in a way. You really mocking it. You really don't think that's gonna happen, because like I said, y'all got a lot invested in America. Y'all the slaves of America. You got a lot invested in here. You got a lot invested here. The elect are not gonna feel that way. They're not gonna think that way. They're not going to think that way. The black race is thoroughly invested in keeping this system going. But like I said, as the elect are being raised, it's just going to quicken the fall of this society, because they're going to be placed in a position of power. Their kingdom is going to be built out of the deserts. Again, they're going to be carved out of places that were once covered in ice. That's all I'm going to say on that. But you're going to melt and open up new continents. All this is part of the evolution. Y'all really don't want this thing to end, because it's not going to end pretty. You need, all this stuff is going away gradually. That's how the almond beings do it. It's nothing really abrupt, but if you notice what Donald Trump in the first 100 days of his tenure as president, he done been, signing a lot of things off and whatnot. So he's already setting the country in transition. He's setting things in transition for stuff that's going to happen and have an echoing effect for the next 30 to 40 years. The things he's doing right now. So they already know the change is coming, and he's being telepathically, he's giving his orders from the elites who are being telepathically told to do this. They having their little seances, they having their little connection with the Amen being who telling them what to do. They're not just doing this on their own. They're not doing this on their own because they know their rulership is almost up. They know that. That's why they they going out kicking and screaming. We're gonna make America great again, racism, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. They they want to go back to the old Jim Crow days and the 1800s and the 1900s. They want to go back to that. But you can't go backwards. That's the thing. There's nothing you can try. You can kill a few black people, so what? All this stuff is orchestrated because they want things to go back to the way they was, and that's not going to happen. We are in a state of evolution. As soon as we hit the year 2000, things started to move forward. You had a better chance of that circular type of circumstances as far as trying to turn things around back in a circle. But like I said, they're not going to really have that. Things are going to be forced forward. They're going to be thrust forward because a new world has to come in. That's with everything. Out with the old and with the new. America is going to be old. America was not meant to go beyond 300 years. It was not meant to go beyond that. But like I said, you can't tell these people that. Black people don't understand gradual change. You don't understand that. You understand abrupt change. Oh, we want this to abruptly happen so we could just go ahead and get this over with. There ain't going to be no getting this over with. What are you talking about? That's really why y'all saying, let's just hurry and get this over with so, we can see if America could fix this. I know that they ain't going to be able to fix this. They're not going to be able to fix it. It's going to be a gradual change that they're being directed to do. They're following orders. To crash the economy, crash the system, to do all these things they're going to do. They following orders. This is all going to happen between the year now and 2076. The hour. And if you don't live, those of you who are, up there in age don't live to see it, your children surely will see it. And definitely your grandchildren are going to see it. And you're going to come back through them. You're going to come back through that bloodline. So you're going to see it again now as well. You're going to see it. You're going to come back through their bloodline. You're going to come back as their daughters or their sons, and you're going to see it. You're going to see the new day. The elect are going to see the new day. You're going to see your children with telepathic capabilities and powers, and you're going to see them levitating and flying through the air. You're going to see that. But those chains have to be broken off of their minds. They have to understand why they had to go through what they had to go through in this system in order to become who they're going to become. See, black people, y'all think, I've been hearing about the apocalypse and this, and Armageddon this and Armageddon that. When this going to happen? So you really don't want it to happen. You don't. You really don't want it to happen because, again, you depend on the system heavily. That's why y'all afraid of it. You depend on the system. You're more afraid of the system ending and your handouts stopping and your good times where you can smoke your weed and drink your liquor and be in the clubs. You're more afraid of that stopping than the new day and the new day coming in. You're more afraid of that stopping. But it's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. All good and bad things come to an end. But eternal things continue. And what is eternal but judgment? America's already been judged and it's been sentenced. Places are judged just like people are judged. Places are judged, people are judged, possessions are judged. When you take a statue, right? Let's say this is a possession. You take a statue or a piece of clothing or something like a possession, and you look at it, you look at how old it is it in good condition, is it good quality? You're judging that material. You're judging that possession. When you go to a country or walk inside of a building or go to a place, you looking at the culture, you looking at how the culture is, the weather, this, that, and the third, the people, everything. So you're judging that place. When you're having an encounter with a person, an exchange, physical or whatever, you're judging the intelligence of this person, the character of this person, so you're judging that person. All things are up for judgment. America is up for judgment. Don't think America's not being judged. It has been judged. It has been judged. And the judgment is that it will not continue. It will not continue, nor the people who are in power will be able to continue it. They don't have the same spirit on them as their forefathers. A lot of their spirit is going to be weak. A lot of their spirit is going to be weak. A lot of their spirit is going to be that of homosexuals. They're going to have their Greek culture all over them again. They're not going to have the same spirit as their grandparents and all them that kept this thing going, was ready to fight in the war. They're not going to have that same spirit. They're not going to be able to maintain that same red, white, and blue American spirit here. They're not going to be able to maintain that. So who do they need to maintain that but they slaves? They number one slaves. They're going to need you to maintain that. They're going to need you gangbangers to be the new fire. You white trash, you gangbangers, y'all going to have to be the new fire of America. You're going to have to be that. But it's not going to do any good. A lot of you are going to die trying to be the fire of America because you cannot stop the judgment on this place. Amen has judged all of these governments, and they have been judged and sentenced as worthy to continue. They are not worthy to continue because you have people who are not ruling righteously. And what do I mean by that? Why does America have to be destroyed and converted to something else? Because the very people who were supposed to be supposedly following our ancestors, the ancient Kemites and all them, and the orders that Amen Bing, who were setting up the society, and you were supposed to be judging things with based on logic and rationale, not with racism, not with like or dislike, hate. You're not supposed to do that. But y'all have been doing that. You have been practicing poor judgment on everything in this society that they do. They practice poor judgment. They're giving people stiff jail sentences because you don't like the color of their skin. You beating people because you don't like the color of their skin. Now, the Amen Bing will allow this to happen because a lot of our people need to be punished. They need to be taken out. But that still doesn't negate the fact that these people still have this in their mind to do these things. That means they are defective mentally. Because they, by this time, when they were put in a position as law enforcement, judges, lawyers, and all this people that is needed to run a society, they should have evolved to a level of making judgments based on logic and rationale, pure logic and pure rationale. And they're not doing this. They're making their judgments based on, oh, I don't like black people. Oh, I don't like I don't like these race of people. And that's that. When you start doing stuff like that, you're not a fit ruler. When you start doing stuff, judging people by the color of their skin or the complexion of their skin or whether they're women or whatever, you're not a good ruler. You're not judging in alignment as the Amen Bing judge. They wanted our people to judge in alignment as they judge. What did you do? Why did you do it? What was the reason you did it? That's not good enough reason. You couldn't have did this. You couldn't. They're not doing that. They giving you 100 years because you dark, because you so-called black. That's not a good judge. You're not a good judge of character. And if you're not a good judge of character, you cannot be in rulership. You cannot be in rulership. And this is why their system has to come down, because it is now based in emotion. It is based in likes and dislikes and not righteous judgment. It's not righteous judgment that they do. Everything is based in racism. Like, I don't like you because you black, you niggas this and niggas that. You don't like this, that. That's not how you run a government. That's not how you run a government. They want blind judgment. So if a white person, black person, whoever come up, what did you do? Why did you do that? Do you have a good reason? If they don't think it's a good reason, then you're going to go to jail or they're going to kill you. That's judgment. It ain't got nothing to do with your color, whether you're a woman, nothing. That's how you're supposed to judge. This society and all the others, they don't do that. They don't do that. They go based on, oh, he's one of us, so we can't lock him up. But then you're letting degenerates on your system of government. You got faggots, lesbians, pedophiles in your Senate and in your Congress. That's not righteous judgment. How the hell you going to have degenerates in your government, which is supposed to be under the Lord, and then claim righteousness? That's off, as the Israelites say. Like you Israelites, how you going to have niggas in your camps, but yet you claim you serving the Lord? You're supposed to kick the niggas out. But y'all ain't doing that because you got an emotional attachment to the niggas. Just like the white man got an emotional attachment to the freaks in their system. And they will degenerate the system. See, we, as the elect, we don't have no attachments to nobody. We really acknowledge that if your left hand offends you, we're going to cut it off. And that means your family, your husband, your wife, all of that. That's what the people of Ammon do. That's what the people of the Lord do. Y'all don't do that. Y'all based in emotion. That's what makes you unfit rulers. That's why your kingdom has to end. Don't care how many guns you got. Don't care how many weapons you got. Don't care how many weapons of mass destruction, how many chemical weapons you got. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. It's not going to help you. Because you've already been sentenced and judged. The white man has already been sentenced and judged. And so has the black man and all these other races of humans have been judged already. You are not fit to rule in a society and a planet that needs logical and rational rulers. A society that will continue has to have logical and rational rulers. Now, you know they had to have that in the ancient world, in ancient Kemet, at one time where it was about logic and rationale and judgment. That's where they get the whole idea in the system of blind justice, meaning that the justice and the judgment of all governments and societies is supposed to be blind, meaning we don't show no impartiality toward anybody. Y'all not doing that in America. You're not doing that. That's why your system got to come down. You're trying to say, oh, it's not racist. We're in a post-racial society. No, yes, it is racist. And from a standpoint of governing, that's unrighteous. And you cannot continue like that. You don't have to like people, but your likes and dislikes, your prejudices have moved into your judgment. And they have blurred your judgment. They have tainted your judgment. And this is why your kingdom has to come down. And one has to go up. That is based on, replace your kingdom that is based on righteous judgment. That alone. That's what the Ammon beings want. That's who they're going to put the power in the hands of. Those of our people who are in the right state of mind, the elect are going to come under Ammon. See, because it starts with 144,000 and it's going to spread. 144,000 is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. They will be given the power of Ammon on earth as the new rulership, as the new standard. And they have to be raised in order for this to take place. They have to be raised. When they are raised, then this will fall. See, this is why the beast tries to keep your areas, he tries to keep your communities in chaos and in confusion. This is why he promotes all kinds of simple-minded and ignorant things like black power, black revolution, Pan-Africanism, black consciousness. See, he promotes these things to keep you in a state of confusion so that the elect have a hard time coming up because there's so much confusion. The elect are looking for which way to go. So they like, oh, am I going to be black conscious? What's this thing over here? Am I going to be Pan-African? Am I going to be this, that, and the third? But see, the elect are going to still find their way home because their reception is going to be raised higher and they're going to look beyond these things. These people who are here to cause nothing but confusion. That's why the beast puts on these TV reality shows, because he's trying to keep the elect from being raised, because he knows once the elect are raised, then there's no need for him anymore. His kingdom is done because they was only holding it for the elect. They were only holding power for the elect. That's why the beast wants your children. He wants notice they want to raise your sons and daughters. The homosexuals want to adopt the black boys and black girls. They want to teach your children. They want to come in your neighborhood and teach your children because they want to take hold of their minds. They want to make sure that for the future they got control of their minds. They want to take hold of this black power, black conscious thing. You understand? This is why they want to do this. They want to take hold of them. They want to take hold of all your black media outlets so they can control the minds of your children. BET, TV One. Hell, they'll even create some like Oprah Winfrey's network own so they can take control of the future minds of black people. But see, what they don't understand is Amin's not dealing with the black race. So y'all can try to control the minds of the black race all you want to. Amin's not dealing with it. He's only dealing with the bright race, the elect who are amongst the black race. Amin's not dealing with the black race, so Amin don't give a damn about the black race because they're going to fall down with you. They love your system and your society of simplicity. They love your society of confusion. See, there will be no confusion in this new society. There will be none. See, there's too much confusion here. This is another reason why this society has to go down. There will be no confusion here in the future. It's not going to be no confusion here. When they say this society is only going to be for the bright race, that's it. For the Ammonites, that's it. This planet, that's it. See, there's too much confusion right now. You can't get clear reception out with a lot of confusion. You can't get clear reception to the people when there's a lot of confusion in they face. When they constantly seeing TV reality shows, they seeing simple-minded nigga nonsense on TV, stupid music. So they doing this. The elites are doing this. The beast is doing this to keep confusion going, so that the right transmission don't get to the right people. They don't want that. So they'll pay Negroes to go out here and slow down the evolution of our people. They'll pay for them to do that. And they have been paying for that to happen. They've been trying to hold back this change or this exchange of power. Because you have to take one thing down, you have to totally dismantle it in order to build something in its place. And it ain't going to happen by no overthrowing of no government. You ain't got to overthrow no government. You ain't got to overthrow America. You ain't got to overthrow it. It's going to come down on its own. It's going to come down on its own. As our people come up in mindset and their mentality, this place ain't going to have no other choice but to come down. Because it was only meant for you to rule this planet. You as the elect, as the Lord's people, the Lord Amen. It was only meant for you to rule this planet. And our evolution got interrupted through the confusion of faces, like you Israelites say, through the mixing of the genes and the seed. That's how you destroy a society of people, by mixing them out. That's how you do it. That's how the white man did when he went over to Australia and he saw those aboriginal blacks, those aborigines, he mixed in with them. Now you got these aborigines walking around with blonde hair, some of them got blue eyes, all kind of weird. They look all weird. Right, they got East Indian in them. They look weird, man. They confused. There's nothing but confusion over there. They sound funny. Their hair look funny. They look weird. That's confusion, man. That's confusion. You so-called black women, y'all can sit up here talking, oh, I'm not really all the way black. I'm a quarter Cherokee. I'm a quarter French. That's confusion, man. But that's okay. Y'all gonna be all that confusion, and you black women, you're gonna be purged out. Just like you black men gonna be purged out too. You guys like to smoke weed and sit around listening to stupid music. You're gonna be purged out, man, because all that music ain't about nothing but confusion, man. Amen is gonna purge out all the confusion on the planet, man. That's what Amen's coming forward for, to raise the elect, to purge out the confusion, man. Because that confusion does nothing but cause a static in the communication. It causes the transmission not to go fully through. That's why I tell you, don't sit up here and interact with these humans, man. Don't interact with them. Don't interact with the black ones or the white ones. Don't interact with them, because they're going to bring down your frequency. Do not interact with them. Do not lay with them. Do not interact with them. Don't exchange with them. If you got a black girlfriend who y'all cool with, get away from her black ass, man. Get away from her. You sisters, you bright sisters who got black girlfriends, still get away from they black asses, man. You bright brothers who got black homeboys, get away from them niggas, man. Get away from them. Because they're going to bring down your frequency. They're going to bring down your transmission. If you know you of the elect and you want to come closer into the republic, into this new covenant, then get away from the black people, man. Get away from the white people, too. Get away from the human race. Come in amongst the Ammonites. Because we're supposed to be grooming this next generation, and in that we're grooming ourselves. These people are temporary, man. Everything about these people is temporary. They're temporary people. Their seed is temporary. Their bloodline is temporary. You understand? Their seed is temporary. They're temporary. Their bloodline is temporary. That's it. And if you lay down with temporary people, then your seed is going to be made temporary. Your children are not going to make it. If you lay down with a lot of temporary people, you might have one child that makes it. You might. And that might be on the strength of your seed. Y'all say you want this thing to come to pass. You really don't want it to come to pass because of what's going to happen, what you're going to have to see. The desolation, the loss, the death, and the rebirth. You don't want to see that desolation. A lot of you don't want to see it up close and personal. You don't want to see that. You think you want to see it. You think it's all cool, it's all sweet, and yeah, he's saying that. But you know why come it ain't happened yet? Why come ain't all this stuff ain't come down yet? Why come it ain't we still here and we in 2017? 17 years into the new millennium is nothing. 17 years into the new millennium is nothing. Right? 17 years is nothing. So you start that, and you count up to 76 years. Count it up to 76 years. 2076. 2076. You're going to be looking at desert or space. 9 times out of 10 desert, because even when it goes from desert and they're going to try to go into space with it, that's still going to be the end of this society. That's still going to be the end of this society. See that? That's going to be the end. And like I said, a lot of people are not prepared for that. They're not prepared for that. Right? They can't handle that truth. We're talking about 59 years. Exactly. 59 years. So as of 2016, which represents the number 9, 2, 1, and 9, you were 16 years into the new millennium, and that means you had 60 years left, the hour, from 9 to 6, 9 ether, 6 ether, like Dr. York talked about. Now you got the 59-minute countdown. You know, I go 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54. That's the time. That's the countdown. You're going to watch it go fast now. Now that I told you about this, you're going to watch it speed up. Donald Trump, look what happened when he got up in office. He ain't been there 100 days yet. Look how that devil on fire, man. He's on fire. Like the Israelites say, he's on fire, man. Why is he doing all these changes? Why is he pushing all these things in effect? Sending federal agents to Chicago, right? Building the wall to keep the Mexicans out, keeping the Arabs out. You understand that? World War III is coming. That's going to come. That's the end of the prophecy. This is prophecy. Everything come in threes here. That's why I said America got to reach 300 years old, close to it, because everything comes in threes. That would be the 300-year mark. You understand? That's the 300 mark. The 300. 1776 to 2076. 300 years. And you'll see the fall down of the society between now and then, the 59 years. You'll see it. If I take good care of myself, and if Amen is willing, I'm going to be here to see it. If I take care of myself, those of you who are younger, you definitely gonna see it. You definitely gonna see it. It's gonna definitely be in your children's lifetime. You are gonna be some old ass people, but those of you, y'all, it's gonna be in their lifetime. All the things are gonna come to pass. World War III, right? Prison camps, all of that. You black men going back into bondage. You're gonna go back into bondage, but they ain't gonna call it. It's gonna be under the prison system, because they know they have to reboot the same idea. They can't feed the same idea into this system or into the machine, the governmental machine. So they're gonna have to call it something else. They'll call it prison stock. The slave stock is now the prison stock. It's the prison stock. So they'll call it something else. But like I said, it'll be enough to reboot the machine for the next 59 years. It'll be enough to reboot the machine. And that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing a reboot in the machine so it can go on for another 59 years. And it's going to come and go very fast. Trust me. You look at how fast 2016 went. Right? You look at how fast 2016 went, and watch how fast 2017 go. Watch how fast it go. You're going to see time start to move like it ain't nothing. Pretty soon it'll be 2025, like it ain't nothing. 2035. You're going to see it all go fast. You're going to see it all go fast. Fast and furious. And you're going to see all these things come to pass. You're going to see them tell you eventually that they on Mars, and and Mars is, and this. They're going to eventually tell you that. Maybe in another 15, 20 years, they'll tell you they on Mars and things are set up there, right? And they're going to basically try to do the same thing on Mars somewhat that they did here. Somewhat. They're going to try to be a little better with it. But they only going to Mars. See, they don't even understand. The white man's only going to Mars so that he can reboot Mars. He's only going there to be used to reboot Mars. And then after he reboots Mars, he's going to be moved off of there too. See, they're being told, because when they were in power, they were basically helping to reboot the planet, right? Because when our people fell out of power, when we lost our power, we got to a certain point where we really lost connection with the almond beings, and we didn't see any point in continuing in rulership. A lot of our people didn't see the point. This is why they started mixing their seed. They started trying to emulate the Caucasian, all these other people, because they really didn't see the point of power any longer. They didn't see it. They couldn't see the point of having power any longer. So this is when the people who wanted the power, who saw the point, who were given the desire to have it, were charged with that power. And that became your Caucasians. They were given that power. They were charged with it. They were put in charge of it to carry that power. This is why they're in the condition they're in right now. And this is why you're in the condition you're in right now. Because they wanted the power. They wanted the power. They were charged with carrying the power because you no longer wanted it. So somebody had to continue this evolution going forward. This is how the almond beings saw it. So they said, we'll have to put the creatures, in power. They're going to have to they had to put the creatures in power. They had to put the animals in power. The mammals. The humans. They had to put them in power over their own people, because their own people became hard-headed. Just like you're going to be hard-headed when you hear this message. Because like I said again, if y'all don't think nothing's going to fall down overnight, and that's not how they do it, because in allowing people to be saved or spared or given some form of salvation as the 144,000 that is needed, because you can always work with those people. You can work with those people in the future. They've been redeemed. They've been recharged. They've been rebooted. They've been refocused, so they're ready to go. They're going to be ready to go. So like I said, this is all that has been waiting. This has all been waiting. And like I said, a lot of the people are not ready for this. They're not ready for a bloody third world war that will go for at least, I would say, roughly 10 years. About 10 years. Will we enter World War III while Donald Trump is in office? Yeah. Maybe not in his first term. He might get a second term. But somewhere along the lines, he's going to open up the door for it. I already said that. He's going to open up the door for World War III. See, they got to get all their ducks in a row. They got to go out to Chicago and lock those niggas up out there who's shooting up everything out there, and they're going to remake them into soldiers. They ain't going to leave all that firepower sitting in jail. They're going to use them as the new soldiers. They're going to be given the choice. Not this much of a choice anyway, but they're going to be given the choice. Either fight for us or die or be imprisoned by us. That's it. And a lot of people are going to decide to fight for them and die for them. That's the reality of it. All these systems coming down, all these businesses coming down, like I said, you're going to see it more and more within the next 4 to 5 years. These companies are going to go under. They're going to really be converted to other companies. The service is going to be converted. All this is done on purpose. All this is done on purpose as a conversion tactic. They're looking to convert what it is they got into something else. And like I said, a lot of the people can't see it because your frequency is out or off. Your frequency and tone to receive these things are off. They cut off. You walking around in a trance in America. You so-called black men and black women are walking around in a zombie-like trance. And you don't really see what's in front of you. You can't see it. Because if you really saw it, you wouldn't be asking, oh, when this stuff going to happen? You would realize it's already happening already. It's already started. It's already started. Like I said, when Dr. York put that book out, Leviathan 666, and he put that man up as the head of America over 20 years ago, that man looks extremely like Donald Trump. Now, how did Dr. York know that? How did he know that Donald Trump would be going about and passing policies like this? How do you know? But like I said again, it is what it is. We cannot afford to be a people who are no longer of judgment, who are lacking proper judgment, because you're going to raise your children not to have that proper discernment. You're going to raise your children that way, and they're not going to be fit to be of the 144,000. Amen is only dealing with judges. He is not dealing with confusion. The Lord is only dealing with judgment and no confusion. Right? If that's not your mentality, then you're going to be destroyed with the rest of the people. See, because they're going to make way for that new race of children to come. They're making way for that. The Amen beings are making way for this. So you're really not needed. The majority of our people are not needed. They're not needed. They're useless in the scheme of things unless they're going to grab a broom and a mop and just sweep up and clean up, and that's it. Other than that, don't check for nothing. Don't look for nothing else to happen. There ain't going to be no covenants with the majority of our people. Forget about that. They finished. The black race is finished. The white race is finished. The human race is finished. And those of you who are going to come out of these governments, those of you who are going to come out of these covenants, this is your chance to go forward. Those of you who are going to come out of those old systems, this is your chance to go forward as a new people, as a renewed people. The Republic of Mentellect was opened up for those renewed people, those renewed brothers and sisters. But if you still have a connection to the old world, the old mentality, then you can't be here. You can't be here if you have that connection. You can't be here in the future because the judgment of Amen demands that our people don't have any attachments to the old things, the old ways, the old mentality. If you want to truly be uploaded and transformed into that new race of Amen, you cannot have any attachments for the old things of the past. because those are the things that will destroy you. Those are the things that will keep you as black people, people in darkness. You cannot have any connection to anything in the past. Simple as that. Like I said, a lot of our people think it's a game. They think everything is fun and games, and they don't take things seriously. But you're going to be forced to take this seriously. You're going to be forced to take this seriously as it's happening in front of your face. As you see your livelihoods being destroyed, as you see the things that you once depended upon in the society, where it's a point where you can no longer depend on these things. When you see that you can no longer depend upon these things, you're going to be in trouble. When you see that there's no more dependency upon these things, you're going to be in trouble. And a lot of our people are in big trouble. They can't even see it. They can't even see it. Keep in mind that as we are moving forward, we are in a state of evolution all over again. A new start, a new jump forward. We'll be right back. Okay. We're about to take a call here. 662, you're on there.
How you doing, Nuba?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I tuned in about 30 minutes in, and I called it. I've been listening in, and I had a question for you. You know, I follow your show. Most of the time I just catch them from the YouTube, because most of the time I can't catch them live. So I caught this one, and right in that 30 minutes, you said, like, you know, people depend on, like, going to supermarkets and basically just going to bed to get what they can, and like when everything happens, everything goes down, it's going to be shut off. And I'm with you on it. And I basically I was saying the same thing when I came, because I was previously in the service, and I came home, and it's kind of like something I can't tell you exactly what it was, and it kind of opened my eyes, and I began to see things like for what they were. But anyway, my question was, I was telling people like, basically the survival of the land, like hunting, fishing, etc., farming, versus just everything. The mentality is just everything's already set in motion, and all we got to do is just to continue on. And I call it the let it play out deal. What's your thoughts on it? People that just say, you know, it's already written down, we should just let it play out instead of preparation.
Well, they're going to die out. Them play out, people going to die out. So they ain't even know, because they think, see, in the back of their mind, they think the system going to reset itself and everything going to be okay, and, and everything's going to be all right without them having to do anything. And that's fine. That, those are the people that's going to die out. Because how they're going to do it is, I'm going to show you how they're going to do it. They're going to close down like a lot of the supermarkets, right? And what's going to happen is they're going to make all the markets like federal markets, and this is how they'll be able to push GMO foods and stuff like that. And you ain't going to have no choice in what the foods is. It's going to be basically like GMO food. Everything's going to be they'll have people starving for probably a minute, and then they'll open back up and push GMO type foods and stuff like that, where the markets will be federally taken over. So the food supplies, everything gonna be GMO. The fruits, the vegetables, everything gonna be GMO. Everything's gonna be genetically modified, and you ain't gonna have any other choice but to take it and eat it. That's it.
Right.
Ain't gonna be no more different markets and stuff. Everything's gonna be federated. Like they're gonna have the federated markets and whatnot. So that's gonna be. You're just gonna go and get the GMO food, and that's gonna be it. That's because they got the GMO foods because they really don't have the resources to keep feeding all these people on the planet. They got to deprive certain people. Certain people going to be starving. Certain people going to be, so they got to constantly make food to feed people. So that's where the GMOs come in. So, they know a lot of people don't want to eat that, but a lot of people going to be forced to eat it because they're not going to want to starve. Be smart enough they're not going to want to starve. and they're not gonna wanna go and learn how to grow no food themselves or feed themselves or do anything. So they don't do. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Like I said, they'll do whatever it takes to keep eating. To keep eating. They're gonna do whatever it takes.
That's the truth. And I came across something. I don't know. I don't know too much of the truth about it, but when I read it, I couldn't. It was something that I can't put past the fact that they say before Obama left office, he passed some bill. I think it's called the Dark Act, where they don't have to list, on ingredients on the back of your food. That they're going to stop completely. They're not going to even tell you what's in your food. And just like you said, you see it happening, but then at the same time, people don't see for the fact that they not paying attention. They just walking around here with their heads cut off, thinking that every day is gonna be there. It's gonna be there, but
well, that's the whole point of getting you dependent on the system like that and not having you want to do anything for yourself. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, because when you dependent on the system like that, you lazy. You ain't gonna try and do nothing to work against that. So when things go down the way they do, when they say, okay, well, this is what we got for y'all, you're gonna be like, okay, I'll do whatever. I'll go to the federated market and get the GMO foods, and I gotta eat, I gotta feed my family, I gotta eat. So that's gonna be the mentality.
That's what
I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. That's gonna be the So it is what it is. And certain people, like I said, it'll be bondage all over again.
That's all it is. But like you said, they're gonna die out.
Certain people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, certain people, certain people need to be in bondage. Certain people don't know how to survive without being in bondage. Certain people need to be in bondage. Certain people, they can't survive without that. That's a lot of these Negroes got the African mentality. A lot of them got the African in them. Where the Africans, like I said, they had no problem being in bondage when we had them in bondage, along with the white man and the rest of them, and the Asians. That's what a lot of these Negroes who sell out to the white man, they got that, slave mentality anyway. They don't see themselves as rulers. They see other people, the white man, as a ruler. So that's always going to be perpetually in them. So whatever the white man hands them, they just going to, make do with it. And, we just going to go along to get along. We're going to play the game and whatever, man. And they're going to gain themselves right out. What they don't understand is that by them doing that, that's not going to help them to survive. It's going to just move them off the grid altogether, because the way this evolutionary track was set by these almond beings, that the strongest will survive. So the things the very weak moves that you're doing, like the Israelites say, you're going to have to take a chip in your hand to get your food and stuff like that. The very weak things these Negroes going to do, because when you pushed into corners like this and the white man gives you a way out, he goes, you eat this GMO food, you can, have this little job where you could do this, that, and the third, and you take it, that's the end for you. Because in this stage of evolution, the time's supposed to get hard in order for you to start thinking on a higher level and create this system or a new system for yourself. That's what the elect are going to do anyway. They're going to, we expect hard times, and we are going to use our intelligence, because that's when you're open to the best ideas from the Most High, from the Lord, Amen, to move your people forward when you're going through hard times, not when you all comfortable and laid out, because that's Negroes' problem already.
Mm-hmm.
It was all comfortable and laid out, and they didn't want to hear the Lord. They didn't want to hear Amen. That's what happened with them niggas what that these niggas always bringing up. What's the one with the Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921? That's what happened with them niggas. Right. They got comfortable. They got some money, and they thought the white man, everybody was cool. So Amen threw a monkey wrench in that and allowed the white man to destroy them, because them niggas got comfortable. Mm-hmm. They weren't supposed to be getting comfortable. They got comfortable. Just like, that's how niggas do. They get comfortable. Like these niggas now, they comfortable. They got their jobs. They got their 401k. They got their 401k. They job. They Obamacare or they Trump care soon. Or, whatever they got. They can still eat and go shopping. So they comfortable. The nigger woman can still get her hair done and get blonde streaks in her hair and be a whore and a slut in America. The nigger man can still smoke his weed, smoke his blunts in America, and hang out in the projects and sell his little drugs and get his $300 Nike foam gels. But see, all that shit coming to an end. All that's coming to an end. Ain't gonna be no more of that. Ain't gonna be no more of that. That's coming to an end.
And they fail to realize.
That's why you see these guys and how you know it. Here, I'm in New York City. Here you got the damn black man, these young black men out here. They wearing $300 Nike foam gels, begging on the corner for $1, asking me for $1. I seen the damn white man, the white boy, young white boy, Brad Pitt looking white boy eating out the garbage can in my damn neighborhood. So that's a sign of the times, man. He eating out the damn garbage can and asking black people for money. Right? So this is a sign of the times, man. Sleeping on the street corners and whatnot, and so it really ain't a good time to be white in America or black. So I don't know. Hey, the strong is going to survive, man. The ones who are mentally strong, and those are the people that's going to be open to receive the transmission of Amen, the Lord, man, the real Lord, not these God-fearing people, and not these devil-fearing people, not these scientific Negroes, these conscious Negroes, man. They finished, man. Them guys are finished. All the folly's going to be put to an end, brother. Yeah, they stuck, man. They stuck on foolishness. Them guys are stuck on stupid, man. They stuck on stupid. So, Man, any other questions, brother?
I will. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But I appreciate the call, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry sometimes I don't mean to be so harsh with my language, I'm trying to curb that. But sometimes, that soul of Amen come on me, that fire come up, and I get on fire myself, and that soul of Amen, I'm in the soul of Amen, and that fire coming, you just, that judgment come out of you, you know what I'm saying, and that, and that those decrees come out of you because you want to raise your people. So, you're passionate about this, and I see all of this coming, man. I see it. I see it like I'm staring right at the wall in my house right now. I see it, man. So, like I said, these decrees are coming because, we in the time of that, man. You got to, black people don't think things are going to come to an end. You got to have new things come in. But y'all keep thinking the white man going to be the one to usher in these new things. He ain't ushering in nothing, man. He was never ushering in nothing. It was always Amen that was ushering in. But y'all don't think Amen is real because the white man is your God. You see him with the technology in his hand first, and you think it's really coming from him. You don't think he's receiving it from somewhere. That's the problem, because you don't think the prophecies of Revelation is going to happen in this evolutionary state that we're supposed to be going through, because the white man is your God. He's your devil and your God. You Israelites the same way. You said the white man is the devil, that means he's your God too. He's your God. If you said the white man is the devil, that means he's your God too. And you wait and see what your God do. That's why you always talking about what your God do and whatnot. You ain't talking about the Lord because you don't know who the Lord is. You can call him all of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah as you want to, but you don't believe in that. Y'all don't really believe that. You don't believe in none of you Christians don't believe in nothing you say. You Israelites, you atheists, y'all don't believe in nothing you say, man. You don't. That's why you got confusion going on amongst you. That's why you got 50 different types of atheists. You got 100 different Israelite camps. You got Christian sects, a bunch of different Muslim sects, different Freemasons. Y'all all in a state of confusion. But that's okay. Amen's going to clear up that confusion very soon, I promise you. Amen's going to purge out that confusion in the land, on the damn planet. Amen's going to purge all that out. Right? And the only way that's going to be purged out is if people who are put in power, Amen's descendants, right? They have that state, and they carrying the power of Amen, that power of judgment with no emotion. Those are the people that's going to carry forward this judgment on y'all, man. That's going to carry out this sentence, man. Because like I said, y'all already been sentenced already. America been sentenced already, man. You people in America been sentenced. That's why you got Donald Trump. He's part of the sentence. You do know that, right? I hope you know that he's part of the sentence. He's part of the judgment and the sentence. See, because y'all ain't going to get no more nice guy presidents. You ain't going to get no more Barack Obamas, yes, we can, because y'all niggas acted like fools for 8 years under this man. And he did nothing for you. He's here to serve the elite, just like Donald Trump. And you niggas still talking about your vote count. Y'all still doing this foolishness. Like I said, you can't move forward with simple-minded people. See, this has to happen. You can't move forward with simple-minded people, black, white, and everything in between, because these people here are simple-minded. They simple-minded. You can't move forward with that. So you have to purge out the simple-minded. You have to purge them out. You have to make way for them. And like I said, the year 59 years down and counting, 59 years, you will see all of these things that were spoken about, the wars, the rumors of war, the war in the heavens, the solar holocaust. You're going to see all these things happen. They're going to happen. They're going to come to pass. Will they be super major? Some of them will. Some of them will be minor. Some of them will be medium. Will it be floods? Sure. There was a big flood a couple of years back in New York City. Queens was all flooded out. My brother's van, his truck was underwater in Queens. It didn't get it to us in Brooklyn. So these things are happening. And it's all a test. It's a test. All these things are a test. Right? And the test is really a testament. A test is really a testament. The testament is that change is on the horizon. For you to say that these things are not going to happen is like saying that change is not going to happen. Change never, comes just like in a big explosion like that. It's always a gradual coasting up to it. The only thing that really explodes on the scene like that is technology. That's it. That's the only thing that explodes on the scene like that is technology. And technology comes and technology goes because the same way it explodes on the scene is the same way it will disappear off the scene until something else is brought forward. We're in that stage and that time right now. That's why this message is being delivered through radio transmission, or a computer transmission, I should say, and it's still using satellites. This message ain't being delivered through books. Not like that anyway. It's being delivered through radio waves and computer, and through the computer, through internet. So we in that time. These prophecies are coming to pass. And whether you acknowledge it or not, it doesn't really matter. You people who sitting on the side, when this going to happen? It's happening. We already done started the countdown. If you too stupid to see it, I don't know what to tell you. From the year 2000 when it came in, it was a 76-year countdown. And we already 17 years in and counting. I done gave you the timeline. 2076. Everything will come down. And something else will be ready to come up. So let me go ahead and read these questions before we get out of here. When will the prophecies of the Lord Amen take place? Between now, fully, now, 2017 to 2076 to 2076. That will be the 300-year end of the beast and his rulership from 1776 to 2076. Donald Trump is the beginning of the end. Why must they take place? Because we have to go through this evolution and change. You can't remain the same. We cannot remain the same. We can't remain as black people any longer, Negroes, niggers, whatever. You can't remain the same anymore. Either we're going to evolve or die. And a lot of you are going to die. You understand? A lot of your seeds are not going to continue. I know a lot of people say, we all going to die. No, your seed will disappear. We are going to continue ours. Will this be the end of the world? Yeah, it will be the end of the world, not the end of the planet. See, the world really means government, not the planet, but the end of the world meaning the governments, because each government represents a different world, a different culture within a certain region. So that will be the end, and new ones will be started. Just like it was a time where there was Sumeria, there was Egypt, and all these countries, right? All these ancient countries and civilizations. Now you got Iraq in its place, right? You got Saudi Arabia and Egypt place. You got all these places that have sprung up and have, totally overshadowed those ancient cultures. So America ain't gonna be no different. England ain't gonna be no different. It's gonna be another culture, another group of people that's gonna come up and overshadow those governments. They ain't gonna continue. That's just the way of the world. Evolution is on the horizon. Arming decides who's going to evolve and be judged for evolution and what's not. Right? Are these prophecies on time? Yes, they are. They're very much on time, and they're meant to happen gradually. They're not supposed to, boom, and it's going to happen. It don't work like that. Because the reason why the gradual has to happen, because we have to grow into these prophecies gradually as the 144,000. That's the only reason this thing ain't ending overnight. Because the elect are being groomed for the end of the world, and so they can step up as it was meant. Why do people keep asking when are they coming? Because you really think that let's get this over with. Let this be the end, so the white man might swoop in and make sure these things stop. Because that's really what y'all want to happen. You don't really think it's going to happen, and that's it. Join us Wednesday night for the next ᴛᴟʟ radio broadcast. Be here at 10 o'clock. And definitely catch Sister Sindera on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Catch Sister Sindera. I don't know what her topic's going to be, but definitely catch her radio broadcast. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This has been ᴛᴟʟ Radio. Menzeka Aminun to all my Mentelian Ammonite brothers and sisters. Good night.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, I'm in, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue.